From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
I'll tell you about some drama I witnessed today in the continuing dispute in a Butte neighborhood over dilapidated homes.
I'm Joe St. George of the White House. It's official. President Biden is running for re-election. Why did he choose to announce on social media as opposed to a big rally or grand speech? We explain the campaign strategy next.
I'm choosing not to do it on video. I am announcing here once again that I will not be running for president.
No, really?
You know what? I'm going to announce here that
Thousands of thank you cards running in.
Oh,
Thank you for not doing
I was going to say I was going to announce here that I was not going to vote for you for president. So.
That's perfect. Yep, I will make it easy for you. I am once again not running for president.
There you go. Okay.
Making the announcement officially here on Montana.
Want to dispel the rumors out there?
It's time to nip that.
Somebody's going to write you, and you'll end up on the list.
Please go. Thank you very much. Oh, beautiful day out there right now.
Yeah, the wind's kind of kicking up a little
bit,
but it's not horrible. I think the afternoon we see the strongest winds, the best potential of rain, also the best potential for snow.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to see it in the valley.
Bring it
you see
on.
these early morning temperatures, 40s and 50s. That really warms up the concrete. So even if we did see the snow, it's not likely to stick. Even so, I think the valley floors are looking at rain. The mountain ranges looking at a heavy, wet, slushy kind of snow, but we're only talking a couple of inches. This system is going to rock and roll right through here. Temperatures falling throughout the day into the low 40s. It may be cool enough in a few valleys or foothills that we could see some snow trying to mix in. Same situation in Butte. Limited amounts, but we are seeing some rain in the forecast. I'm going to talk about a warmer weekend ahead in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Matt. The flag was wrapped around
It
was
was
so windy up there on campus.
We both caught that.
Yeah, it was awesome, 6:32. Of course, it was a busy day in Helena yesterday, all focusing on Missoula Representative Zoe Zephyr. Her recent trouble started with her comments regarding transgender legislation.
Yeah, MTN's Jolie Solis spoke with Governor Gianforte yesterday about pushing the legislation, knowing his own son identifies as non-binary and a member of the LGBTQ community.
Governor Greg Gianforte was in Belgrade today signing 2 bills into law, while the legislature in Helena was preparing to censure a transgender representative. After the press conference, I spoke with Gianforte about his reaction to the proceedings and how the pending transgender legislation impacts his own family.
But I was going to ask you if it makes it difficult to be pushing out this legislation now that your son has come out as non-binary.
Yeah, and I've been very clear. My love for my son is unconditional.
In late March, Governor Greg Gianforte's 32-year-old son, David, sat down in his father's office with a prepared statement about legislation affecting transgender Montanans and the LGBTQ community, a community that David belongs to. He wanted to talk about Senate Bill 99, a ban on gender-affirming health care for minors, Senate Bill 458, a bill to define sex as strictly binary in Montana Code, and House Bill 359, a ban on drag performances in many public spaces. Sitting across from his father, David Gianforte read this statement aloud. "Hey Dad, thanks for setting aside time to meet with me. It means a lot to me," David said. "There are a lot of important issues passing through the legislature right now. For my own sake, I've chosen to focus primarily on transgender rights, as that would significantly directly affect a number of my friends. I would like to make the argument that these bills are immoral, unjust, and frankly a violation of human rights. These are the same bills transgender lawmaker Zoe Zephyr spoke against. Her passionate remarks did not sit well with Governor Gianforte or the House of Representatives.
I believe the representative's behavior on the floor was completely inappropriate.
Gianforte also noted that he thinks the protests after Zephyr was barred from participating in discussions is taking away from what Montanans should really be focused on.
Everyone's voice has to be heard, but the focus has to be getting the business done for the people of Montana. We still have to pass a budget, and we're looking to get funding for mental health and to rebuild our prisons and to lower taxes. We've made progress on many of these things, but there are still major items we have to resolve before the end of the session.
Zephyr has been banned from the floor of the Montana House of Representatives following action Wednesday by Republican leadership. In Bozeman, Jolie Solis, MTN News.
This is a story we've been covering for a while here on Montana This Morning out of the mining city. Feeling right at home?
Yeah.
But who owns the place?
Right. MTN's John Amy has the scoop on squatters in the Uptown Butte neighborhood.
Some residents in this Uptown Butte neighborhood have spent the past 3 years fighting what they say is increased blight and crime. And though there has been some improvements, they're afraid things are starting to get worse.
It's a fight every day. If you just let it go, it starts to get worse again. And so then you're unsafe to walk around because some of these people are so high, they're dangerous.
Residents have complained that squatters have taken shelter in these homes in the 700 block of Main Street, which have been labeled dangerous structures by the city. Healy believes someone is living in this detached garage to one of the homes.
It's not supposed to be anybody in here. And we have done our due diligence. We have called the police.
While I was doing my interview, the man who says he's leasing this garage in question came out, and he and Healy had some harsh words, both accusing each other of creating a problem in this neighborhood.
We're the side cleaning it up and doing the actual physical work, and all she does is complains about us.
I asked him if he's aware of the crime in the area.
This is the hood of Butte. I mean, come on. What do you expect? I mean, that's what goes on around here. You know, but it's.
But are you a part of that?
No, I'm not. I'm part of cleanup crew.
People are accusing you of squatting and living in these places when they're. Oh, is that what are you doing?
That's not true. I work, you know, long hours. Okay, I work when I want to work. Okay, so, and some people think, oh, okay, you're staying there. No, I'm not.
They're saying, oh, they think they're selling drugs and things like that.
No, there's no drug.
Here?
No,
you're not selling.
No, I don't sell drugs. Okay.
Some residents say they're fed up with the junk homes.
All of this needs to be cleaned up, and I don't think it's too much to ask as a neighborhood to have everything cleaned up.
Police and city officials arrived at the scene that day and informed Richardson that he could clean the garage during the day, but could not stay there overnight. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Of course, we're going to continue to follow that story out of the mining city. Meantime, on the national scene this morning, President Biden making it official this week, launching his highly expected re-election campaign. President facing, though, some challenges as he officially campaigns for re-election.
Yeah, the president doing so on social media, which is, as our Joe St. George explains, is becoming a familiar way for candidates to first break the news.
It's official. President Biden wants to keep his job here at the White House for another 4 years, officially launching his re-election campaign.
That's why I'm running for re-election.
The announcement coming in the form of a social media video on Tuesday morning. President Biden promising to build on his successes like passing infrastructure and promising to protect existing freedoms like reproductive rights. If you're wondering why the president posted as opposed to holding a major speech like former President Donald Trump did when he announced his latest campaign last year, Marie Aberger, a longtime progressive communications consultant, says it's simple. A highly scripted, highly edited video online ensures the announcement goes off without a hitch.
If one thing goes wrong, that's the thing that's going to get covered. With a social media launch, you get to go directly to the people. It doesn't matter what else is in the news that day.
If you flash back to 2019, Aberger says Biden announced his 2020 campaign the same way. Video announcements also can easily link to campaign websites to increase campaign contributions.
I have a lot more time in my day to watch a 3-minute video than a 1-hour speech.
President Biden begins his 2024 campaign facing relatively little competition for the Democratic nomination. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is running, and so is progressive advocate Marianne Williamson. So far, though, high-profile Democratic governors and senators have said no to challenging the president. Right now, no Democratic primary debates are even scheduled. That is not the case on the other side of the aisle, where former President Donald Trump remains the frontrunner, but is facing opposition from a host of others. Announcements by former Vice President Mike Pence and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis could happen next month. The first GOP debate will take place in Milwaukee in August. One potential issue for President Biden as he begins his re-election campaign: enthusiasm among Democrats. A review of 8 polls over the last year by the Washington Post shows that only 38% of Democrats on average want President Biden to be the nominee in 2024. 57% want someone else. Former President Trump and former President Obama both commanded much higher numbers when they launched their re-election campaigns. Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.
The continuous cycle of elections.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yep.
You have
one
something,
after the other.
You have something more positive to talk to us about, Matt.
Yeah, you know, it's really important to be able to learn about the cities, to learn about the government and how the government works.
Right.
Got a chance to catch up with the students at Gallatin Gateway this week to talk about an upcoming fundraiser to head to Washington, D.C. Here's a look. Good morning. I'm at Gallatin Gateway School with Ezra, Leah, and Soraya, and we are talking about something that's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are getting ready to go on your annual field trip to Washington, D.C., correct?
Yeah, that's right. So on May 21st, we're going to leave for Washington, D.C., and the whole class is going, so we need your help to get there.
That's perfect, and of course, this is not cheap. So what are you guys going to do? You guys are having a fun banquet on May 6th, right?
Yeah, so on May 6th, the doors open at 5 p.m. There will be a silent auction, and there will be raffle drawings and
lots of fun and live auctions as well. Now, Leah, you've done this many times, I know, because I've seen you at these things. What can people expect? I mean, people are coming in there. Are they coming in hungry? Do they need to eat beforehand?
no, you don't. There's a free dinner and a bunch of prizes, so you can basically go and have a free dinner that night.
That's awesome. And let's talk a little bit. You guys have prizes. Do you guys know some of the prizes? Ezra, do you know some of these prizes?
Yeah, we have basically something for everything. So we have anything from trips to guns or, meat. Anything that you could think of, we probably are going to have it at the banquet.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Leah, you've done this. Let's talk about it real quickly again. Doors on May 6th open at what time?
5 p.m.
5 p.m. And then people fill in, they go in, they bid on their items, and then
you just are there.
You're there, you go in, you go do the live auction. That's right. All right, so again, this is May 6th. Where is this? Do you know? No. The auction barn, right? Right up the road, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
So, and doors open at 5 p.m. You can come in. It's free to get in. You can come in, just have a good time, and support these kids so that they can go to Washington, D.C. Guys, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. You're watching Montana This Morning.
That's awesome.
Next
weekend.
Next weekend, it is a fun time. I've done it a number of times. I had a great package where you stay for a few days. Got to be able to donate to the to the cause, and
that's fantastic.
Got a few days off too.
Yeah. Hey, what more could you ask from that?
Good stuff.
Time for another quick break here.
You guys a present.
That's it. Yep, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Well, there's plenty of ways people are going green, planting a tree, cleaning up local parks. Well, at 6:48, how one community is making history going green together.